sold the Merc, by the way, yeah, and I've got this one now here, just as the other day. But I bought another one. If you ever fancy that,
I think I could work on this car. Look at it. Well, basic. So this gentleman's got this amazing Model T Ford, and he's going to just tell us a little bit about it. Yeah, so what can you tell us about this car?
This is a 1913 Ford Model T. They made more than 15 million.
15 million?
15 million, yeah.
Okay.
During 1909 to 1927, then they introduced the Ford Model A, which I've got as well. This is 1913, it's a Manchester built in Trafford Park example. There's probably 3 or 4 of these left in the world.
You're joking.
And,
did you say 3 or 4?
3 or 4, yeah, but they made loads and loads of different body types, and this is particularly rare because 1913 was just before the First World War.
Yes.
And 3 other Model Ts made in this location were sent as ambulances to over to France. A lot of them got blown up and buried in ditches and things like that.
So they never returned?
Never returned, no. So this is vanadium steel. This generator here, it's actually a non-standard one. It's slightly bigger than you would normally get. You put water in the top and carbide rocks in the bottom, and you set this to 3 drips or 2 drips every 3 seconds. It generates acetylene gas through the pipes to the headlamps. It's explosive and very dangerous. You've got the bung lamps on the side, either side of the bulkhead, which are lit with a match, kerosene lamps. There's alterations to it because that's what happens when you have old cars. Bits fall off and break. A few years ago, the top of the piston blew off, the conrod bent, and the crankshaft snapped. And apparently that happens every so 100 years. So I replaced with second-hand parts, about £232, and it's all back up and running. And it's like lawnmower technology. The driving itself is totally different to a conventional car. You've got the throttle on the left, the timing on the right.
Yes, he's talking about the pedals.
Yeah. So what happens is when you start the car, this is a mixture screw here, which a needle valve goes directly into the carburettor. You flood the carburettor with petrol. You fully retard the timing and put a little bit of throttle on it. This is the handbrake. And when you're driving it, this is the brake, the one on the right. This is reverse, and with the handbrake half forward, that pedal left down is first. This all the way forward, that pedal up is second. And to stop the thing in an emergency, you put your feet on all 3 pedals, and hopefully the back locks up. But the brakes are not optional. The brakes slow the engine down, and the brakes are transmitted through the prop shaft to the back wheels.
Oh.
So if you look on the wheels, there are no brakes on the actual wheels.
Right, so it's directly through the prop shaft?
Through the prop shaft. It generates the drive from the engine to the back wheels, and it also stops it.
So like a gentleman said, it's got no drum brakes as such. It's actually direct braking from the engine. Can't actually do that.
Further about here underneath.
Yep.
And what happens is the axle twists, and so does the back. So the body twists as well, and that allows it to be flexible enough to stick to the road, in theory. When I had an excessive knocking noise on the ball joint down there, a Model T specialist asked me in detail how loud was the knock, And I said, well, it's quite a heavy knock. And he said, well, is it a little knock or a heavy knock? And I said, it's a heavy knock. He said, right, the reason I'm asking is that what you do is you take the ball joint apart and you either put a 1p piece or a 2p piece in there, and we smack it with grease and then tighten it back up again. And I did that, and I've not heard anything since, and it's as tight as a drum.
Unbelievable. Let me have a look underneath.
And also with the Model Ts, there's actually a cooker that goes onto the manifold, so you can theoretically drive along and cook your food on the way to where you're going to. There's a recipe online. If you look up Model T recipes, then you can cook your food, arrive where you're going to, and then open the bonnet, get your food out, your sausages and your burger.
Do you know anybody that's actually done this?
Yeah, I've done it.
Oh, you've done it yourself?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
But it's a big following if you look up on online.
Can we look at the engine? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
possible? Oh wow, yeah, it's very basic, isn't it?
Actually, I've these are where the core plugs are, and
Okay.
this is where the core plugs are. And as you can see, I've found some old 1p piece from 1913, and I've stuck them over the core plug.
Unbelievable.
So as you can see, also I've got a few leaky core plugs, and once again the specialist said to me, if ever the core plugs come out, what you do is you stop at the side of the road, you get your penknife out, not that I have a penknife, and you whittle a piece of wood from a branch into the size of the hole in the engine, and you use a hammer to wedge it in there until you can get home.
So there's not much pressure then?
Not much pressure, no.
It's an actual penny.
That's actually a penny, but it's stuck over the core plug. The core plug is underneath. It's literally just for show.
Yeah, I understand.
Grease points. So to grease this steering column, you turn a quarter of a turn every so. But the technology in those days, if you can look at this one here, this is the throttle. This throttle is operated from a lever here on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
What happens is, this is an arm with a ball joint on it. It goes around the back of the inlet manifold to the carburettor, and this adjusts the speed of the car. Now if you look at the play and look at the down here,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
this actually moves the carburettor and makes it go faster and slower.
Oh, yeah.
So, but if that angle is not right, if that's not upright, that will not work. So you have to continually maintain. And the choke, most chokes are thick these days, but if you look at this brass piece of wire, that's the choke here, and that's operated from the front of the radiator just there. So that's the radiator, that's the
choke.
choke, yes.
So although it's quite simple to work on, it's still a lot of skill in adjusting everything.
There's a lot of skill in actually getting everything right all at once, and it does take a while to kind of get used to how to drive it, and anticipation, because if you're going 30 or 40 miles an hour and there's a car stopped up front, you do need to know how to handle the car and make it stop safely and
So
in
you
time.
need to be more than a driver, you need to be a bit of a mechanic.
You do, absolutely. But it's great fun. I would thoroughly recommend anyone who's got a bit of lawnmower technology experience of working on cars, lawnmowers, this is the car for you, because if we walk around here...
Lawnmower technology, I like that.
Yeah, no worries. In here is everything to take the car apart basically, and work on it, banners and all sorts of emergency kit. Of course the polish as well, most important thing. Anyway, this gentleman's asked me to move.
Alright, well we'll see it. We'll see this fine vehicle start up then. Thank you very much for your time. Oh, just walk it back, okay.
That's alright, that's alright.
Is it in gear? Yeah. That's the key.
That's the key.
Oh, what a nice fella. So like he was saying to me, it starts when it wants to start.